Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Women in Math and STEM, where our mission is to reach out to as many professionals, aspiring professionals, students, whatever you name it. We try to reach out to them, who essentially support the initiative of bringing more women and young girls into the STEM field. So, with that being said, as always, feel free to open up the description or transcript to better follow along, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hello, and thank you so much for coming to this call today and talking with me. Just to sort of start off, do you mind introducing yourself as well as sort of walking us through your journey to get you where you are today?
The pressure is all mine. Thank you for inviting me into this podcast. A brief introduction about myself. I'm Ram S Iyer, a final year and undergraduate in an institute of national importance in India. And along with that, I'm also an undergraduate research fellow. And I'm working in collaboration with a couple of universities, both in India and abroad. So I'm working in collaboration with Indian Institute of Technology, BHU in India, National Institute of Technology, and Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. My major areas of interest and my research fields basically deals with deep learning, machine learning, with a major emphasis on computer vision and its application to both theoretical fields and medical image analysis. So,
I was just wondering how you got interested in deep machine learning and what you do now.
so basically from a very earlier age, like I was pretty much interested in the STEM fields and mathematics and solving problems kinds of stuff. Basically when I was studying in my high school, we had this particular workshop that was particularly based on the applications of mathematics in the industrial exposure, the application of mathematics in the fields of engineering. So this pretty much sparked an interest in me into taking a field such as engineering, in which we had to apply a theoretical mathematical knowledge to get something productive. So that was one of the major motive for me to take in engineering as a field of study in my college. And so I took electronics engineering as my majors because it provided a certain kind of a certain kind of flexibility for going into a hardware field or a software based field. So it has both of them in it. So here I was in my undergraduate studies with electronics engineering majors, and further my journey into machine learning or artificial intelligence was not that of a planned one, but we can say kind of need of the kind of thing. So we were having this robotics competition in our college that was organized by the Science and Technical Council in our college. So in that we had to create a simple kind of line following robot that would follow a particular path without deviating from it. So we were able to make it with the help of a couple of sensors, a couple of proximity sensors, a motherboard, Arduino, motherboard, etc. What sparked me in that particular whole process was that, like, what all can be achieved, like, what advances can be achieved by giving human sensors or human perception, that is, vision especially, to these machines or automated systems. So this was my major motive to follow computer vision and these kinds of stuffs in which we can give like senses or human perceptions into machines so that they can coexist and work well with the society. So that was my major kind of link between my undergraduate in electronics and my shift towards machine learning.
I think you mentioned you studied engineering in your undergrad. I was just wondering, like, coming from an engineering background, how does that sort of help you when it comes to learning about machine learning and like researching about it?
I'm majors in electronics engineering, but as in always in any other engineering field, we have those basic mathematical courses of linear algebra, probability, statistics, stochastic processes, etc. that give a very well based foundation in these machine learning and artificial intelligence fields. So, like in the background of any machine learning or proximity detection courses or any proximity detection fields or predictive analysis fields, the background of all this basically comes from linear algebra, differential calculus, probability, statistics, etc. So these were already like taught to me in my undergraduate studies. So these were taught to me in my first and second years, etc. So it was like I was having a settled base to start off in it artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. So yeah, that helped me a lot. And further, like what is also currently helping me a lot in moving my direction into this research is that though we have a large number of models in these computer vision applications, this in healthcare applications, etc., what we need to focus towards the current research scenario or current research trend is that like we have to make these models more robust. That is, we have to make these models more mobile. Like we can make it more portable. That is, think of cell detection or a you can say a skin lesion detection model that you can work in your mobile phone or something like a mobile phone that you can carry with yourself. So that's the kind of thing that I focus on right now. So I try to make this models, or you can say the currently existing heavy models, into a more compatible, mobile efficient, or you can say resource efficient manner. So yeah, that for that, like my electronics engineering studies helps me a lot. So yeah, sure.
I was just wondering, sort of on the same note of like what you work on, I think you mentioned you did research. I was just wondering, in terms of machine learning, what were some particularly like interesting or rewarding areas of research you've participated in?
Yeah, for me, like I was always interested in computer vision and its applications in medical image analysis. So anything that advances the healthcare industry with the automation systems is always a win-win situation for both the departments. So yeah, like currently, like healthcare departments have like systems that are being majorly run manually or like automated or semi-automated, but that takes a large amount of time and human workforce. Like for example, if you can say, like in a urine cytology sample, when we classify these samples into like both malicious or benign cells, so this is currently done with the help of a microscope and healthcare practitioner. So for this, like let's say in a urine cytology sample for bladder carcinoma detection, so in that particular process, like a single whole slide image will take a couple or around 3 to 4 hours for a healthcare practitioner to classify that into whether it's benign or malignant. So what we try to aim with artificial intelligence or computer vision tools is that we try to reduce this human workforce or the time it consumes. So yeah, I like to share particular part from my first internship, like my first research experience that was like in a National Institute of Technology. So here we were like working to generate a robust parameter efficient like portable machine learning model for this bladder carcinoma detection. So here the major difficulties that we face in getting this medical images data sets for this particular training of the model are that these data are not often shared to the public by the hospitals or the authorized organizations, as like there are risks of security, privacy, and all. So that's a critical issue. So, and along with that, we have to always look for the ethical considerations of the data that we are using. So our data set, like always, they have to be kind of verified by a healthcare practitioner before we can use that for training. So these are all like hurdles. And overall, like the this as I was saying, the label data is very difficult to get in the healthcare industry. So these all difficulties persist. So to like overcome these challenges, what we were developing was we were developing a self-supervised model, like a self-supervised object detection model. so with which we can reduce the amount of label data necessary. So with the help of that, we were able to get a robust model with a little amount of label data. And with that, we were also working on generating a backbone kind of stuff, feature extractor kind of stuff. So that was like focused on reducing the parameters of the backbone. So yeah, with that, like we were able to generate a particular way working computer vision based model, and then we were focusing on implementing this very model on a single processor or a single board computer kind of thing. Like we can see a Raspberry Pi board or just a Nano board. So yeah, like we were able to get a completely full-fledged system like that, a completely full-fledged portable system, I must say, like that. And yeah, it's en route to a patent application. Right?
I was just wondering, you talked a lot about like making your or sort of like sizing down your like computing like machine to make it easier to like move around or like be portable. I was just wondering like why is that such like an important part of like your job? Or like why is that like important?
Uh, well, I can say that like as you know, like earlier only computers were the accessible things for accessing an internet or like accessing any other applications that we want. But right now we have like a smartphone kind of thing, or we can also say we have smart watches right now, which can give us these same compatibilities, these same capabilities that a computer or a desktop used to provide us earlier, right? And what people love it, right? So people need these kind of portable kind of stuffs, like portable kind of machineries with which they can handle with an ease, so that they can handle without much of an issue, much of a large time resource consuming tech kind of environment. So this is the major motive in like sizing down or kind of quantizing these models into a chip level kind of environment.
And I think you mentioned that your like previous or one of your internships you had before worked with like identifying like benign versus malignant tumors in the healthcare industry. I was just wondering what were some like other applications of AI in the health industry because I think that's like something I haven't heard about yet.
Yeah, so like another application like in AI in healthcare industry, like you can say, like I was recently working with a professor in nanotechnological university. So the work was basically based on analyzing brain signals, or you can say EEG signals that were collected using the electrodes from brain, and these were used for emotion recognition. So we were able to analyze a couple of approaches for this. Like we were able to generate brain connectivity maps from the CEG signals and use those maps for classification into emotions with the help of computer vision applications. Further, we were like able to analyze the graph-based features that were extracted from these brain connectivity EEG signals, and then use that for emotion recognition. So stuff like this always persist, and we also try to like use these brain signals along with another modalities like facial expression, posture recognition, etc., and like combine them to get a multimodal approach towards overall human activity recognition kind of thing, or human interaction kind of thing. So these kind of applications are majorly used or majorly can be implemented into classrooms where we can analyze the amount of interactions that are being shown by particular like students into the classes that are being taught to them, the classes that their teachers take, so that we can get an idea about the optimal type of ways in which we can improve our like education systems, so that we can make our classes more interactive for the children. Yeah, so this is one approach. I must say one application of artificial intelligence in healthcare and social systems as well, society as well.
I was also just curious, like based on your experience and like research, where do you sort of see like machine learning, particularly computer vision, so like your area specification, in a few years or like a decade from now?
Yeah, so like I must emphasize that like currently we cannot say that machine learning is the future. Like artificial intelligence is the present right now, so it's happening a lot in a large volume right now itself in the society. So like if you want to ask me about the future perspective on this, I must say that like recently today morning in a LinkedIn post I just saw that a particular university in Japan and in collaboration with Canada and UK universities were able to develop a completely full-fledged artificial intelligence based scientist kind of thing. So this particular artificial intelligence based bot was able to do literature survey, get hypothesis problems, try new iterations onto these problems, get outputs, write paper, and then peer review its own work. So I think that this kind of already existing like semi-automated kind of AI stuff would be implemented in future with a consensual based system. So that like what I think is that like in the future like people get the opportunity like to give their consent or give their word on a particular task, whether they want a AI assisted solution for the task or a manual solution for the task. So with that, like the people can have a consensual kind of system in the future, and later on, like as time progresses, that is as the people trust more and more on AI systems, or we have that level of AI systems, so that we can say, yeah, now I can trust on this system that it will make correct decisions for my things to get done. At that point, we'll have a completely a fledged kind of society. I think.
Okay, thank you. I was also just wondering, sort of to end off, what pieces of advice, suggestions, recommendations do you sort of have for students who are interested in pursuing computer vision, machine learning, engineering, honestly, like anything in the future?
Yeah, so regarding computer vision or like any other engineering field or artificial intelligence in particular, I'll say that like we can see this in two perspectives. That is like if you want to apply your knowledge into uh, customizing them into industrial exposure, industrial environments, like the things that you would like to have or would come handy for you is the way in which you implement these existing methodologies into those systems that are in need of them. So that may include like how robust you can make the existing methodologies, or how well you can resource efficiently manage these existing models and all, and how you can implement them efficiently, and like I said earlier, how you can reduce or compress it down to any much smaller size you can. So these are the needs of the industry. And if I am speaking in a perspective of a research environment or an academia environment, then I must say that like get hard into your mathematical stuffs, get hard into your linear algebra, probability statistics, and stochastic process, or anything differential equations, etc. Get those fundamentals very well. Learn those fundamentals. How are they used in this artificial intelligence kind of stuff? Like how are they used in the how the back propagation of a neural network works with the help of differential equation, how the gradient descent algorithms work. Get those, get your hands dirty, and yeah, always try to get new results into existing problems. Always kind of try to get a novel ideologies into the problems that you might face, and yeah, that's the optimal goal of research.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to this call today and sharing your experience and stories. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, again, the pleasure is all mine. So thank you for inviting me here.